best talk show of all time in the Carolinas. You know what I mean? And I am the celebrity guru. It's King Maserati Santana. Don't forget to put the king in front of the Maserati. You already know what time it is, man. Today, I got a special guest that's in the building with me, former 102 Jams radio personality from Greensboro, North Carolina. Also, you know what I mean, he broke records for Luke Nasty, you know what I'm saying? Also for Dolph, you know what I'm saying, R.I.P. Dolph, you know what I mean, working with artists like VVS Diamond and more, man. I'm going to call him a guru. Last time I interviewed him last year, you know what I'm saying, I called him an icon, but now I'm going to call him a guru. We got the one and only. We got Mr. Waleed Coyote in the building.
Well, King Maserati, my brother. What's good, bro?
You already know what time it is, man. How you feeling?
Definitely my favorite show right here.
Absolutely.
So we on the rise, baby. You know what it is, man.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah. So, like, I want to dive right into it. Like, so for everybody that don't know who you is, where you from, and all that good stuff, go ahead and let the people know.
Okay, well, I'm originally from Beirut, Lebanon. Came here when I was 8 years old, which is North Carolina. And I represent Greensboro, North Carolina, to be exact, 336.
Yes, sir.
Started out at 102 Jams, like you said. Started a record label, Others Records, get the O's up. My brother started a company out west called Empire and left radio here to go out there with him. At the same time, Luke Nasty had this record called Got a Feeling That You Might Be. And been on the road, been everywhere and across the globe, you know what I'm saying? And it's all been hip-hop, bro. So I only had, plan A in my life. Plan B would have put me in prison. So, thank God I'm here.
And the man said plan B would have put him in prison.
That's 100% facts, bro.
That's what's up. Well, I'm glad to have you back on the show.
Man, I'm glad to be here, man. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. It's an amazing, I love to see your growth. I got to salute you, man. I watch your stuff on the internet. I watch your stuff every time you drop a new one. Last week you had, my sister on here, Lady Luck. Shout outs to her.
Absolutely, yeah,
the Praise record going crazy. So I love the fact that, you're innovative, you're for the culture, you're from where we from, and you represent, bro.
Absolutely.
Ever since I met you, man, you've been on the rise, keep riding to the top like Kenny Burke. Let's go.
That's a fact, man. Well, we got Waleed Coyote in the building. Yeah, listen, I told y'all what it was going to be. Like, only people I'm having up here from now on is people with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? This man right here got a purpose. You know what I mean? He already told you how he got started and all of that. But, like, my thing is certain things that, like, we didn't catch from before was, you said you kind of, like, grew up in the war.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so what was the deal with that?
So, coming into this world, like, originally, I'm born in Brighton, England, and the reason why I was born in Brighton, England is because they were bombing the hospitals in Lebanon during the time that I was supposed to be born. And my parents, my father, my mom, R.I.P. Pops, he took the family to Brighton, England, so my mom could give birth to me because they were bombing the hospitals and the schools and everything. It's not new. It's what we're going through right now. And Gaza is the same thing that was happening in Beirut, which was a little even more complex because you have so many driving forces at the time. And actually a bomb landed on top of our building in Beirut but didn't detonate. And that was the time Pop said, come on, I'm moving y'all to America, and that was the greatest day of my life. Honestly, I love being here. This is an amazing place, a lot of opportunity, and it's been on ever since. Really learned how to speak the language by watching TV. Didn't have many friends because obviously I'm coming from a third world. Shout out to the Middle East, and I'm coming from over there. And so the only thing that I had was on TV was, MTV and BET, and it just kind of captivated me. And then the music kind of just took me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm 8 years old. And I'm watching this. That's why I don't speak with an accent. A lot of my family, speak with an Arabic accent. But I was blessed enough to, not that's bad because we love our culture. I love my people, and I love the accent. But I was blessed to come into this. And when I was 11 years old, man, I smoked my first joint. I listened to NWA straight out of Compton. I never forget that day. And that day changed my life forever.
Yeah.
Dude, that day was like, like Ice Cube came out of the radio and talked to me that day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was lace. I don't know if I was playing. But, man, when I tell you it was like, after that, I was like, I'm going to start a record label. I'm going to get on the radio. Like, I knew my plan when I was 11, bro. It was crazy.
Yeah, you had been so you was at the age of 11 when you came here.
No, I was 8 years old.
8 years old. Yeah. And the man was building the plan then.
I'm telling you, man, because I always felt like, I had good intelligence, might have ended up being a lawyer, a doctor, something like my brother. He's a doctor, top surgeon. Shout outs to my brother, in Jersey.
Absolutely.
But the music, man, captivated me so much. And I remember my father telling me one time, he heard me, listen to rap music, and I knew every lyric, and I would tell him, yo, this guy produced it, and yo, this dude's on this record label, and he said, man, if you knew your studies like you knew the rap music, you'd be making straight A's. And I said, you know what, Pops, I'm gonna go into rap music. That was the minute I said, I'm going into rap music right there, you know, and he looked at me like, man, you crazy. And Pops always let me be me, you know what I'm saying? So I was a kid, my mom let me be me. It wasn't a very strict household. Where we come from, you trust the neighborhood because certain things don't go down, and if they do go down, like they're gonna end up, off of you. There's certain things that we don't put up with playing with kids. We don't play, the rape stuff, like all that stuff. We don't. So when we got here, my parents really was like, okay, go do your thing. So I'm outside, bro, literally outside, like the whole day, the whole night. We was tripping, really, looking back on it. But I came from a good neighborhood, Rolling Roads, Southside Greensboro, and it kind of raised me, molded me to who I am today.
That's what's up, man. I got to give you one for that. You know what I'm saying? Just like from when I met you, you know what I'm saying? I was hearing your name out there. It was always Waleed Coyote. It was always Pete Wonder.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the things, shout out to Pete Wonder. Yes. You know what I mean? Like the things that y'all was going, like the things that y'all had going on was like really, to me, was inspiring because y'all had the streets on lock, especially in Greensboro. I was in Greensboro from what? From 2005 to all the way like 2010. Yeah. You know what I mean? And y'all was heavy around that time.
Heavy, bro.
So, like, brings me to my next question. You know what I mean? What started you at 102 Jams?
Well, I did my internship with MC Boogie D. Shout outs to Boogie D. And then I knew Kendall B through my cousin. And Boogie came to the family restaurant, Uncle Billy's restaurant. It was called Stevens. And even back then, man, we was always in the street. We was always, we was always active.
Right.
Even though I went to college in Western Carolina, had a very, my uncle was, man, he was a gangster, bro. No other way to put it. Uncle Billy was a gangster and a gentleman, right? And he owned this restaurant. So the radio station would come and, of course, after we developed that relationship, he said, I'll give you an internship. And I needed the internship hours to graduate from Western. So I did a double internship, 6 hours a day. Like, you wasn't getting rid of me. As soon as I got at 102 Jams, because I knew this was the only way that I could make the music happen for the Carolinas. It was never been about me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was my mission because I grew up with some of the most talented rappers, talented basketball players, talented everything. And there was a lot of shortcomings because of the generational curse, of the way that they position the hood, the way that they have, they put certain people in certain places with no expectation for you to get out of there.
Right.
Right? So your options when you're growing up is what? Hit the street, risk your life. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I said to myself, I got to get on this radio station and I got to represent for my city because growing up, my favorite radio personality, Busta Brown, shout out Busta Brown, he was from San Francisco, right? Boogie was from Queens. So at the time, I would listen to the radio, and all I would hear is Queens. I'd hear San Fran, and then Kendall B was a night. He was from Compton. So it was like, literally, like, everybody shout out where they from. And I said, man, when I get here, I'm going to shout out Florida Street. I'm going to shout out Smith High School. I'm going to shout out downtown, the Grove, everywhere where I'm from, and I'm going to empower my people. Like, that was my plan. So it's kind of like an infiltration, like, because once I can empower these people and show them what they have, you know what I'm saying? It's over.
Absolutely.
It's over, bro. Like that's it, because you got to empower, you got to educate, but first you got to get in. So I did everything that nobody else wanted to do. That was my way in the radio. Yo, Boogie, you want me to go get your lunch? I'll go get your lunch. Yo, I see your intro, DMX, right? So, of course, we always had the smoke and the weed my whole life, right?
Yeah.
So I'll never forget DMX, R.I.P., shout out to Cuzzo Ali, was his manager. And Boogie comes and X is real nervous, right? It's a true story. X is nervous, like he just get at me, dog, just drop. And I'm an intern, right? And DMX is at the radio station, and Boogie's like, yo, go around the back, man, get him hot, bro. Calm him down. So I'm smoking with DMX, right? He's asking me 1,000 questions. First time I ever met X in my life, and we're just sitting there getting high, right by the end of the, right by the end of the sidewalk. And all the other interns was looking at me like, damn, bro, how you know DMX? And so it was my role to play to like do whatever it takes to get there.
Yeah. So how was X like when you met him?
X is amazing, great dude. Because he had the energy. He kept asking like DMX actually came to Greensboro and would hang out at Sugar Bears later on, and would literally like meet somebody and be in the city, and then they take off in a car. Like craziest thing you ever seen. Like he loved the streets, he loved the people, and he was very inquisitive about the direction of where he's at. Like, where am I at right now? How close are we to this place? How close are we? I'll never forget that. Like that was good.
And that's him knowing like what his environment,
exactly.
like where he from, and well, not where he from, but where is he at? You know what I mean? And also like I remember Sugar Bears.
Man, Sugar Bears is classic. Daryl, what up, man? Listen, this place, legendary. You remember that? The waterfalls in the back, right? The beds.
I remember Sugar Bears.
Crazy.
I remember Sugar Bears, right. And a lot of people don't know that Ludacris was an intern. He was. You know what I mean? And that's how he got started.
He did.
Yeah, man. I need everybody to keep it locked on the #1 talk show in the Carolinas. We talking about straight uncensored. I got my brother in the building. Yep. We talking about the guru. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Other Records. And Waleed, Coyote. Y'all keep it locked right here. It's going down. Yes, sir. You already know what it is, man. It's King Maserati Santana, the celebrity guru. I still got my brother in the building, Waleed Coyote. What up? Talk to me.
What's up, man? We're getting old up, baby. We on the rise, baby. We on the rise, TV.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm feeling the energy. I'm loving the energy. You always embrace the energy when you're around me, so I love it.
I love it, bro.
You know what I mean? Before the break, we was talking about 102 Jams. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And you know, and all the backstory, whatever. But we had a person that came through Greensboro that was on BET.
Yes.
Terrence J.
Yes, Terrence J.
Yeah. How did you link up with Terrence? Was it like through your internship? Or?
No, I was on radio, and Terrence was just getting to A&T University, right? And he was in college. And I never forget the first day I met him, man. His name was Skinny Man Scoop, a.k.a. Terrence J.
Get out of here.
No, that was his name.
Skinny Man?
Like you know, Fat Man Scoop. That was Skinny Man
Scoop.
And so, man, we had like the illest staff, man. Shout out to Tap Money, Kyle Santillion, Big Mo. Big us, Brian Douglas, you know, taught us a lot about radio. And at the time, man, we were so competitive on a part-time level. And the radio station was turned up. Like, we wasn't just a normal station. Like, that was a family, but plus it was like playing for the Bulls, or you out there like you're 102 Jams. You're on the Lakers. Like, this is a prestigious thing. And at the time, there was no IG, no Facebook. We was the source for all the music. We was the source for all the everything. And so we took that thing seriously. We took our break seriously. And Terrence was, me and him used to joke a lot about each, you know, things. And one of the stories that I remember that I tell everybody, Terrence J, like I would get on the radio, and sometimes I get a call to call in, and she'd have a baby crying in the background, and I'd be like, yo, this is Terrence J's baby mom. He ain't had no kids at the time, right? And yo, you ain't paid your child support. And I'd run it, right? Because we were reckless. We were 102 Jams. Reckless. We out there doing everything that nobody could do on radio no more at the time. And so he makes the story up, and I'm going to West Virginia, Beckley, West Virginia. I'm DJing this place called Club Horizon. It's 3 hours away, so obviously there's no cell phone reception, and there's no you can't get 102. Yeah, you in the mountains. I'm in the mountains. You know, and anybody know Beckley, that's where the feds is at, right, and all that. So not the federal government, but the feds, the prisons. So I remember doing the club, and I came back, and Terrence had told everybody that I was in the bathroom and I passed out and I hit my head on the toilet. And this was his joke. And so everybody was hitting me when I got back, like, yo, you okay? You okay? You okay? True story. About 3 months later, it really happened, bro. It really happened before I went into work. The same thing that he said happened. The same thing kind of like happened. It wasn't that. Like I had, like my blood pressure had dropped, and I was drinking a beer before I was working the third shift, and it literally, I passed out in the bathroom, hit my head on the bathtub, right? And I still got the scars to show you. Like, it was real. Damn. That was a real story right there. He really spoke something in existence. But Terrence was one of the coolest dudes, man. When he got on 106 and Park, it was an open door policy. Literally, all we had to do was come up there. He'd be like, man, come on, I'm going to sit you in the front row. Then he shot us out, you know what I'm saying? And then later on, 336 boys, DJ Luke Nasty, Bryson Gray, and the rest of the group won 5,000. Not that he had anything to do with that, but it was a lot of love because the fans was showing love to the 336 boys. So he
Facts.
always showed, nothing but love, and I have crazy BT stories, for days,
Oh, that's why we here, so we could talk about it.
Crazy.
Now, did you see the stardom in Terrence? Like,
everybody knew. No, everybody knew it from the first time. I mean, he had the charisma, and one thing about him and how he got on 106 in Park was, I believe, he had one audition, and then he left the audition and drove to another audition like 8 hours. Like, you wasn't gonna deny this man. And so when I see his success now, just couldn't be more proud of him, bro.
So was that the first moment that you seen, like, okay, this guy's a star?
No, I knew it. Like, yeah, of course. First time you meet him, because he had that magnetic personality. He knew how to rock a party. Like, we was competitive. So when we go rock a party, we're going to rock the party.
Facts.
So as soon as you give me the mic, we're going in. That's our little time to shine. We got the big dogs behind us, and, guys like the incredible DJ Polo, Capital J, J Flex. You got these dudes, it's the mix squad, and it's like a prestigious thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Horse Rainey from the 252, And so these was like our OGs. So you can't go in there and stink the place up. You got to go in there and rock the mic. You had dudes like Fendi in Greensboro come in.
Shout out to Fendi.
And he would grab the mic, and then he buy everybody drinks at the bar. So you up against that. He's pulling out big knots and, everybody drinks. So I never forget it. So you have to have your mic game. You have to go in there and it's serious.
So, like, what was one of the things that 102 Jams was bringing differently than all the other FM stations?
Man, listen, first of all, playing songs that might not have been okay on other stations, because our program director taught us to go after the audience first, right? So a lot of times, man, you get in urban stations, they want to get preachy, right? They want to get like take a Sexy Red, for example. She'd have been full rotation back then.
Facts.
Shout out to Akinelli, my brother. Brian Douglas was playing Put in Your Mouth in the 90s on full rotation at 102 Jams, unheard of. I think that's one of the first stations to ever go hip-hop 24 hours. And so he was about the numbers. So if the crowd liked it, hit him up, Biggie's diss, it's on rotation 60 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
wow.
and then sometimes you'd hear little curse words, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, what was that? You know what I'm saying? Because he drove it for the listeners. And what in turn happened was the listenership was so phenomenal that everybody act like they know you because they heard you on the radio and they listen to 102. They don't just leave 102 on. They listen word for word. I remember when Biggie got killed, RIP, I was in college at the time, right? And so seeing and hearing on it, and I just got to college. So it was like, so I was brand new kind of, and not to show my age, I'm 1,000 years old, but
yeah.
But I remember listening to 102 Jams because that's my only source of, information. And so 102 has a grip on our area. And so growing up, I didn't want to be on no other radio station.
So did anybody compare 102 Jams to Foxy?
No, they compared to Hot 97.
Wow.
And no disrespect to Foxy.
So y'all was bigger than Foxy?
No, I don't want to say bigger. I'm saying in our area, whenever you talk to anybody across the country,
it
would be like 102 Jams, Hot 97, Power 105.
Yeah.
106 in LA. You know what I'm saying? This is our comparison,
Wow.
Like we wasn't going at nobody in the state. We knew it's like, again, you playing for the championship team, bro. So when you on 102 Jams, that was like a badge of honor. When you wore that 102 Jams coat or that jersey, we Super Jam. They introduced us as Super Jam. We getting, the audience is cheering for us. Not the first Super Jam. You could hear crickets when they said Waleed, Coyote, but like a couple of years after I was there,
you built it up.
You could hear the audience, you could feel it, and they gave us time to go out there and talk our ish to the crowd. So before we bring on the headliner, we out there. And they treating us just like stars.
So what did the independent scene look like with the artists, local artists out there?
Very competitive. Very competitive. At the time, though, it wasn't the time. First of all, back then, you didn't have distribution like you do now. And then you didn't have the belief in the area, right? So that's why I set out on my journey to create that belief. The belief is everything. I'm in the believe business. That's why I tell everybody. I'm in the believe business. Like, once you make them believe, because the urban crowd, once they believe in you, they buy you, they support you. But before that, they not believing nothing about you. Because you come here, I'm hot, I'm this, I'm that, until you show them something. You know what I'm saying? And in Carolina is the toughest market. Back then, bro, you're talking about you competing with major labels, right? And so who got the money in the streets to keep going on the music side? The guys in the street. Then they get their head knocked off. Boom, there goes the end of that label. Then they get their head knocked off. Boom, there goes. So it was so hard for us, but it was so competitive. And I grew up with some of the best rappers, some of the best producers. I mean, we're talking about guys like, I didn't grow up with them, but Carolina produced people like, Fanatic, people like Mark Sparks. The list goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? And these are guys that I ended up meeting later on in life and just fanned out. Like that's to me like, oh my God, that's Mark Sparks. That's Fanatic. Like Fanatic did tracks for Michael Jackson. He did the Crush on You for Lil' Kim, and he was, he went to my high school. And so these are names that you kept hearing about, but it wasn't like, Carolina, where I was at, Payroll Records, right? Shout outs to, Ski Beats. So let's give it up for that. Ski Beats produced Jay-Z's first album. So I got my name, Waleed Coyote, from God Bless the Dead, Mixmaster D, who was the DJ for the Busy Boys, and Ski Beats was Will Ski at the time, the lead rapper, right? So I came from that, carrying them crates into those places. You know what I'm saying? Going to MC Square as a child, carrying crates of records just so I could get in the party and I could just feel the vibe. And I'm around all these talented people, but yet we not on the map. So my whole life mission was I'm going to put this place on the map and I'm going to use radio to do it.
Absolutely. Like, so who do you remember, like, as a local artist that made it out of Greensboro when you was there?
That made it out of Greensboro?
Yeah, that made it out of Greensboro when you was a radio personality there.
Nah, so Little Brother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to Little Brother. Yeah, definitely.
Can't go without saying Ninth Wonder. Those guys right there, legends. And so at the time, we shout out to D.Y. Nasty. D.Y. Nasty and me was going back and forth. We trying to, he's in Raleigh, I'm in Greensboro. Like, there's a lot of us that just really, really work hard for the area,
Yeah, facts.
And so Carolina is always, I call it the Middle East, because I feel like we're in the middle of the East Coast, geographically speaking. You have a huge New York influence in North Carolina for some odd reason. So at the time, you would have the entire Mobb Deep family here, you know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Prodigy, but you'd have like my man God Supreme. He would be bringing dudes like Ty Nitty, which is somebody that I ended up doing work with. That was Infamous Mob, So these guys are in Greensboro, living there. Nicki Minaj meets Birdman and Wayne in Greensboro.
In Greensboro?
Fendi introduced her.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, a true story. True story. Right on Random Road, spot called a Venue. She used to work at Hood Locker.
I know she started with Fendi when Fendi had to come up.
But Fendi had stores called Hood Locker in Greensboro. She was working there. My old intern, who is now, shout out to Laverne, she's doing her thing. She would drive Nikki around during that time in Greensboro. So Greensboro always, to me, always had this rich hip-hop, huge hip-hop culture. Like even in all the movies, right? Look at the Wu-Tang Clan. What will you see when they come down here? The first in-store the RZA did was in Greensboro. Biggie talks about being in Carolina.
Absolutely.
All of that. Run DMC, if you go back to back then, right? They talk about coming to Virginia and Carolina to sell all their records. But at the time, we were such a consumer place, and we weren't able to produce because it wasn't our time, but now it's our time.
Absolutely, man. I need everybody to keep it locked right here on the number one talk show, Straight Uncensored. I got my man Waleed in the building. We got more coming up.
Always, I thought you was a 6'8" black dude. There's no way. So I'll be like, wow, you disappointed? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. So that was the first thing people used to say to me. So my whole life I checked the others box. So that's the other, black, white, Hispanic. And I was like, okay, I'm an other. So we're gonna start this others records. And we got started when I was in school at Western Carolina. And basically I knew that this was gonna be my everything. This is what I'm gonna put my all into. Every single day, every single night. This is what I'm gonna pray that this happens, and I'm going to sell these records because I had one plan: get on the radio, leave radio. Shout out to Chris Lover, you know what I'm saying, my man, Ludacris, right? And watch what Luda did, right? My man Poon Daddy, that's a good friend of mine right now. That's my dude right there. So he's out west, and they were actually, both on the radio together, a Hot 107.9. So I said, after the radio, I'm gonna go sell 1 million records. I didn't know how. I didn't know nobody in the music business. I didn't even know have a handbook or nothing. Really when I was in high school, I would be drawing a logo. I would be drawing the logo to the record label.
Absolutely.
And that's all I told people I was going to do. I said, I'm going to do a music label, and they would look at me like I was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Yeah, I'm on a record label one day, and it's going to be the biggest record label in the world, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to sign artists. I'm going to give y'all the next Drake. Well, I don't know Drake at the time. Michael Jackson or whatever. It wasn't even Michael Jackson, but, whatever, right? Whatever the time it was, that's what it was. So Others Records is for the fact that you don't have to put us in no box. You can't define us, right? You can't sit there and say it's a genre. I could put out a country, bluegrass, reggae, whatever album I feel like I could put out, as collectively we can pull out and sell these records, that's what I want to do.
And it's crazy that you said when I mentioned Ludacris.
Yeah.
I was right now. I'm doing a Crunk era takeover in Atlanta.
Nice.
And I interviewed Bishop of Crunk, and he was saying like, "Yo, if you don't know Luda, you know what I'm saying, lover,
Chris Lover,
then you don't know where Luda came from."
That's it.
And for you to say that, it confirms everything that he was saying.
No, 100% because you got to have an outlet. You got to have a platform, right? And so whatever your outlet is, whatever the platform is, whether it's TikTok right now or it's whatever it is that's popping, augmented reality, the future. You got to tap into it, and then you got to take that and say, this is my platform, and I'm going to use this platform. And what better way? Still love radio to this day. I stayed, my thing, radio, for a fact, saved my life. I would do the imaging at 102 Jams, and it would take me, which is the promos.
Right.
So we write promos. I'll be in there all day and all night. But it kept me away from the streets. It kept me away from doing the dumb shit that I knew I was going to end up doing because I was in that age group of doing dumb shit.
Absolutely.
So I locked myself in the station, and I would play every single beat that we had on those promos. So I'm going to sit there and bang you in the head 1,000 times. You're going to hear this beat, and that's going to end up on the mix show. Then it's going to end up in rotation.
And it's crazy because, radio personalities have the first dibs on everybody.
On everything.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, with you, Soulja Boy.
Yeah, Soulja Boy.
So you was the first person to interview Soulja Boy.
Ever. The first person to ever interview Soulja Boy. You. So first person to ever interview Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miami Mike. Him and A-Rap walked into the radio.
Shout out to Miami Mike.
They had got booked at this club called the Rib Shack, right? The Rib Shack in Greensboro was probably one of the most notorious spots right across the street from Sugar Bears. I can't even make this up.
Facts.
And it's probably the littlest club that had the most amount of people I've ever seen in my life, right? The Rib Shack. Shout outs to Mio. Mio actually is doing real estate. He's in Greensboro. I think Z Tweezy and Q Diddy at the time. I believe they might have been doing a party or whatever, but Soulja Boy walks in. He has a dude named A-Rab with him. So instantly I'm like, A-Rab, come here. And they got rubber bands, bro. No jewelry. Bro got rubber bands. He made his own chains. And I knew the kid was so special, man, because I never seen that before. You know what I'm saying? Bro walked in with his own swag, rubber bands, and he had a song called Shootout. And so at the time, I was like, man, this song is going crazy. The song is mixed down on Cakewalk. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Cakewalk at the time. Cakewalk is a program that was like, it was what he did it on. And we played Shootout in the club, and they goes crazy. I'm talking about bananas. And this song was bigger than a record that was on a major label with $1 billion mixed down with $1 billion artist. You know what that was? That was a movie that was going on right there. So I see him. I think he got booked for $750, if I'm not mistaken. And then A-Rab. Why you get the name A-Rab? Well, my father's Egyptian. I'm half Egyptian. Okay, cool. You get the pass. We start chopping it up, right? And bro was in the radio station. I think he was like 15 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And Miami Mike, one of my best friends to this day. I call Miami Mike anytime. That's family. You know what I'm saying? Miami Mike was like, bro, I'm putting all my money behind him. They were in like a rented van. 6 months later, bro pulls up to the radio station in the biggest tour bus with his picture on the side, Soulja Boy. And at the time, I was trying to push the Shootout record, but there was all these, like, I think it was a school shooting at Virginia Tech at the time. Some dude that wilded out, killed a bunch of people, RIP, and you really couldn't transcend that record because once you get that kind of tragedy, Shootout was just like, you can't really push that commercially, but then Crank That came and a whole era came behind them. So I always give it up to Soulja Boy, and we're born on the same day, July 26th.
Wow, so it's really crazy because shout out to Miami Mike. Miami Mike, what up though? You know what I'm saying? Even with PTE. Yeah, like all of that, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because I'm interviewing Coop. You know what I'm saying? I'm interviewing Coop when I go back to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And he's with the PTE whole label and all of that. But like, you caught Soulja Boy when he was at the beginning.
No, the beginning. And I was the first person to put the kufiya on him, right? Which is the Palestinian. I got receipts with that. I was the first person to get one of those. Free Palestine. My brother, Free Gaza, and he rocked it. And it's and I got a receipt, bro. I got a receipt, and I ain't scared to shout out Gaza, bro. I don't care, boy. You can't cancel me, bro. It's all good.
And when Soulja Boy was talking about A-Rab, that's who he was talking about.
A-Rab was his sidekick, right? And that was the little homie of his. That was his Spliff Star, his Fife Dog, that was his Vinny. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So these they were a duo. And so they're doing all the dances, man, but he captivated the audience. Soulja Boy had an era to this day that you cannot deny. Matter of fact, God bless K. Slay, the dead, right? God bless the dead, K. Slay, Allah yarhamah. But one time we in New York, And I'll never forget this. It's on our first Luke Nasty run. And we're at satellite radio, Sirius XM, and K. Slade starts talking to Luke Nasty about legends. And then Luke said, Soulja Boy's a legend. And K. Slade lost his mind.
Who said he was a legend?
No, Luke Nasty shouted out. So he said Soulja Boy, that's a legend. And K. Slade said, how you gonna call him a legend? And they started arguing for like 30 minutes on the radio. No lie, 30-minute argument about Soulja Boy being a legend. And Luke was sitting there like, nah, he had a whole era. They're going back and forth. This is a true story. And then we ended up missing the Power 105 interview with DJ Self because they ended up arguing so long about Soulja Boy being a legend, and you got to give it up to him.
So can we say that you have credits that got Luke Nasty to where he is? Can we say that?
I mean, he signed to others records and the plaques say others on it, but I'm humble because at the same time that if I was get Luke to where he's at, he got me to where I was at too.
Absolutely.
So I got to give it up to him. Without his music, his hard work, his ethics, bro's a monster. And he's just coming into his own. When I tell everybody Luke's best years, inshallah, God willing, is just ahead of him. Because bro's really like one of the most talented people I ever met in my life. And I'm actually a fan of his music. Probably.
Right. What was the thing about Luke that you liked the most?
The most I like about Luke is a DJ. He understands music. He understands people. He's a people person. And he's amazing to work with, bro. Like, him and my relationship is like that's my little bro. And I look out for Luke like I will look out for a family member. So it's always in his best interest. And that's how I am with all the artists that I work with, because it gets to the point where it's not about you selling records. It's about you also understanding everything about the business, right? Because the unknown is what causes all the problems in this business. When you don't know what's going on with your royalties, you don't know what's going on with your publishing, you don't know what's going on with your shows. When you hide these things from these artists and you don't educate them on how you got to pay the money back to the label and how you got to maneuver these budgets and this costs this and that, then it creates a lot of L.A. Reid's and Russell Simmons. What I mean is like all their family members, not just family, friends, whoever,
right,
all of a sudden become record experts. All of a sudden they become guys that sold billions of records, and now they can start infiltrating the head of these artists, and now it becomes a very, very bad situation for managers and record execs. Because if I come and tell you, hey, come on, Maserati, what are they doing for you? Man, it's wrong, bro. And then when you're comparing yourself to Drake, or you're comparing yourself to the top, and you don't have what they have, or you don't have what Next Door has.
Exactly.
And Luke was never like that. Luke was always patient. Actually, Luke taught me a lot about business, because it's a lot of times Luke didn't want to do stuff. And I'd be like, bro, just do it. You know, we got it. Then he'd be like, no.
You're dealing with a talent. You're dealing with an artist.
Yeah, but he would do stuff like, then I look back on it and I say, you know what? That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Like if he don't rock with somebody, he ain't going to mess with them.
Right.
You know, he don't, and I'm the same way, but he's not a fake dude. So, and that's an amazing thing, you know?
Absolutely. And you know what? And it's crazy because, like, not only, you know, with Luke Nasty, you know, I know that, because we spent some time in KOD.
Yes, we did.
I was in KOD in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And we went, I think he was hosting every Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Out there.
Yes, sir.
And I went out there and shout out to Red Carpet.
Man, free Red Carpet. Big ups to Way Too Real. You know? Yeah, that's love.
I was out there and, you know, I was hosting that night, but I also performed that night, and you was there, and you was hosting the whole thing, and it was like it was dope because I was following your events.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From Jacksonville, North Carolina,
yes, yeah,
to all the way all over you know what I mean? And then I think we was in Danville, Virginia.
Yes, we were in Danville, Virginia.
Absolutely.
All hell broke loose.
Oh, man. You know what? I left before all hell broke loose.
God. Shout out to Baby C. I know he'll never forget that night. Oh, my God.
You know, but like, just you in KOD, just hosting and doing what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you breaking records for Luke Nasty, you know what I'm saying, and all the other ones. But, like, I also know that every time that you host, you always bring up Dolph.
Always.
Now, the death of Dolph, I know that did something to you. That was your brother.
That was my bro.
You got to talk about
listen,
it.
man, that was one of the most heartbreaking days ever, because the last time I seen Dolph was at KOD. And but prior to that, you know, when I met Dolph, it was like meeting a lost, long family member, man. And every time I called him, whether it be for a feature, show, bro, always answer the first, second ring, no matter what. And we pull up, man. I'm talking about one time we did a video. Shout outs to Brolic. You know, I've been shouting out a lot of people that's not with us, man. God bless the dead. My man Los paid for a feature. We show up, man. It's like 40 gang dudes at the Grand Over, right? In a hotel room, but it was a suite. I can show you the video. I got receipts. I told people I got receipts.
Bring out the receipt.
I can show you the receipt of how much money was on the floor. You know what I'm saying? RIP my man EJ Legit. They stepping on the money, bro. And it's like, and Dolph just got there by himself with me. You know what I'm saying? It's me and Dolph. Bro trusted me to that level. Like, it's been so many times he'll pull up in his Wraith to do a feature for one of my guys, and it's just himself. He's just by himself, like literally. We had so many conversations, so many deep conversations because I believed in him and he believed in me. And matter of fact, I had a situation with Charlie, Rocket Charlie, where I was going to break the Preach record for them, and they were going to break an artist that I had at the time.
Absolutely.
Right? So Preach, to me, it goes to every show that I go with because that record is near and dear to me, and I feel like he's still with me. You know what I'm saying? I still got his number on my phone. When I see Key Glock, it's love. Matter of fact, last time I seen Dolph, he wasn't even smoking weed, bro. He was talking about he was on probation. You know, I'm trying to pass him, because every time I see him, he give me a bag or I give him a bag. Literally, whether it be money or smoke. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, bro, I'm on probation. I ain't even smoking. And we right at KOD, and everybody around is smoking.
Pulling up in the camouflage.
Bro, everybody's pulling up in camouflage. Like, that was probably one of the hardest losses, hip-hop, and for myself to I remember, never forget the day, man. I got the phone calls in Atlanta, bro. I'm like tears, bro. Like, I can't believe he's gone. To this day, I can't believe he's gone.
But it's crazy because in Memphis, the beef with Dolph and Gotti.
Right. But, you know, I got him on an interview, shouting him out. I'm the only one.
Gotti?
No, he shouts out. Yeah.
He shouts out Gotti?
I got that. I got the interview. I got the stamp.
Wow.
And for me, it's not, I can't pick sides because Big Boogie is family, right? And we charted the Big Boogie app a year and a half ago. So I've been on Big Boogie since, 3-4 years. So for me, it's not about picking sides. It's about loving and appreciating everybody and their talent.
So where does Big Boogie come in through all of this? Like, you was breaking records for Boogie, right?
Yeah. So Boogie, I met Boogie through Anna Mitchell, a really good friend of mine. She's an amazing person. She's out of Memphis. And Anna's actually P. Wonder's cousin, right? And so we've been on her for like a long time. So the Mitchell family, Boo, and her got a studio, Royal Studios, where their grandfather is Willie Mitchell, who wrote all the Al Green records. So Memphis is like one of the dopest places in the world. So her and Tutu, shout outs to Leon Porter, right? Leon has the artist with her. And so at the time, I got an Airbnb in Atlanta. They're like, yo, we want to introduce you to this artist that we just signed. And, bro, like, ever since I met the dude, the energy's been amazing.
That's crazy.
Him and his whole crew, everybody. So it's love, man. It's nothing but love. And so, like, for me, I can't sit there and say I'm this side or that side. I mean, shout outs Key Glock, shout outs to Moochie. Moochie's going to be big on PRE, but at the same time, got to give love to Boogie and his whole crew. Because, I rock with the vibes, bro. And I rock with, who rocks with me always.
Absolutely. And that reminds me of Wave Your Flag.
Wave your flag,
we have to find
Wave
Waleed,
your flag.
Man,
Wave your flag, baby.
You got to talk about this shit right here, man.
Wave Your Flag is a record that samples Wayne Ramallah. Ramallah is a town right outside of Gaza. So at all the weddings growing up, they would play Wayne Ramallah. Everybody get together, start clapping. Bong, bong, bong. Now, if you look at the drill dancing, New York drill dancing, hand up, and then this, that is very similar to the Depke, which is an Arabic dance, right?
Correct.
So at the time, I'm stressed out, man. I'm going through some personal stuff. It's crazy. Maybe that's next interview. But at the time, I'm looking at this stuff going on in Gaza, and it's stressing me out, bro. And it's like every morning I wake up and I see the dead babies. I hear family members are missing. I hear all kinds of crazy stories. And all I can think in my head is I got to do something. Because I'm going through something personal at the time, and I'm dealing with this. So I'm talking to Fly, my man, on the phone. Fly, I know Fly a long time. And I'm like, bro, I got to do something. And I got this idea because I remade that song years ago, right, with a guy named Cranston Johnson, a.k.a. Giuliani, and my cousin Merv Hagee. Now, Cranston became a big-time actor. He's on Netflix. He's on P-Valley. He's done a lot of stuff, so shout-outs to him. And then my cousin Merv. So we redid the record, and it was called Club Ramallah, right? But I wanted to come back and do the drill version. So Air Levi is a producer that's with Fly. I'm on the phone with him. Literally, I send him the sample. It's a Saturday night. I'm standing outside of Artistica on Elm Street. And while we're talking, bro does the beat. Right when I hear the beat, I'm like, oh, this is it. Like no changes. Like, let's go. Hit the go button. Then I start thinking, yo, who am I going to get on this record? So I'm running a list of artists down that I got signed, a list that I distribute, or famous people, or whoever. Then I said to myself, you know what? At the time, it wasn't cool to yell Free Gaza. At the time, the flag wasn't flying like it is now. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to jump on this record, and I'm going to stand on it, because this is a record that's an anthem, and it's also a power. Like, you know, you got a flag. I know for a fact you got a flag. Just listen to your name, right? So, yeah, you got a flag, right? So I met you, I was like, come on. So everybody listening got a flag, right? Everything. And so it wasn't just about the Middle East, and it wasn't just about Ramallah. It was about representing and standing on where you from.
Absolutely.
And loving where you from. Now, I didn't expect the TikTok to jump like it did. I didn't expect the song to get that kind of feedback, because when I was doing it, I was like, I don't want to put no rappers on here because I don't want to get nobody messed up. I didn't even take it to radio at the time, because I was like, I don't want none of these guys to get in trouble. But now, if you don't talk about Gaza and you from where we from, you're going to get canceled, right? Because we have so many people that represent the Palestinian struggle. So many people are really, so many people now I can't believe. Now, for me to watch that Palestinian flag fly like it's flying, man, my pops would be so happy to see that, because the struggle is real over there. You know what I'm saying? And it's been, and let's forget politics. We're talking humanitarian. We're not talking religion. We're not talking about who's right or wrong. We're talking about a genocide that happened over there, and people got killed that was innocent, that had nothing to do with nothing. And they keep killing and keep killing and keep killing and justifying. So to see us be able to have a song to represent not only that, but also represent every single person that wants to wave their flag and represent their shit, that's what it's about.
Wow, man. We got more Waleed Coyote coming up after this. Hey, Waleed.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I know you started from 102 Gems.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So I know you had a lot of work in the community.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the community give backs that you had.
Now, community give backs. Also, I used to do the car shows, but now it's all about really more pinpoint, man, to really go back. We've been going back to my old alma mater, Smith High School, and giving back. Shout outs to my brother EJ, Family Hustle in VA. And so what we're doing, man, we're really going to try to, and now we're going to, and we are giving back, right? So whether it be honoring the kids with money, you know, like you could see when we go to the school, we give away money, we give away shoes, we give away everything possible to grab their attention. Because if you grab them early on and show them that this is the way to do it, because my uncle, he changed my life out in California. See, I was not a or B student. I probably would have never went to school. I just want to do music my whole life, right? So I'll be bored in class. Till one day he said, I see you make a lot of D's and F's and you're struggling and your GPA is like 1 point whatever. I'm going to pay you for your grades.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do for you. So if you get a $50 an A, $25 a B. If you do all A's, I'm going to give you double, right? And so all you got to do is just send me your report card. And that changed my entire life. That was like, okay, this is a business now. So now I'm going to school and I'm going to go and I'm going to bust all these grades and I'm going to go crazy because now I have to do it the right way. So we want to go back and then we want to also be able to give each kid a scenario in a classroom. This is my bro EJ's whole concept of doing this program where we literally go give them a scenario and show them a way out of it, or what would they do? Because we all have scenarios that ended up either you got the red pill or the blue pill. You know, you're either in this universe or alternate universe. What are you going to do? Because it gets real. It's not a rap song. This is really real life.
Absolutely.
And so when I go back to my school and I see, no disrespect to the school, but I see that, man, it's the same gym that we was at 1,000 years ago. It's the same trophy case. It's the same cafeteria. Now we got to fix this. and then I want to fix the school, and then I want to fix the community as best as I could through the music, because I want to make North Carolina the music town that it really deserves to be. Right now, what are we known for in the Carolinas? Tobacco? Well, there's a ban on tobacco everywhere. What else are we known for?
And that kind of go with your Carolina music vision, too.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah. And so because I want to be able to show these kids, all right, after school, come on, learn how to mix this record down. Learn the music business. Learn to be a manager. Learn to be an exec. Not everybody's a rapper, right? Some people, we need a lot of execs. I need managers. I need security. I need all kinds of things that I want to be able to hire and outsource later on. So if I can educate my community is going to go far. And it's going to be an ecosystem. And if we build the ecosystem within, right, from where we're from, because that's why I came back. I've moved back to Greensboro just for one of these missions, is to absolutely bring the Grammy committee here, uplift my community, teach these young folks, man, how to stay away from trouble with their talent. And let's go. Let's take it further than we took it.
Yeah.